Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Thursday, January the 18th, race number 7 at Aqueduct. Let's throw up the field for this New York-bred optional claiming race. $45,000 is the optional claiming price, second level allowance. We're going 7/8 of a mile. And Mike, I really like this race because this is as competitive as you can get. You can make a case for 6 of these horses.
It is a pretty good race. I agree with you that you could sort of make cases for, and look at it in a few different directions here. Dan, tell me if you agree with me on this, though. Radio Red has upside and I think ran really, really well last time. The 5, Amundsen, he's the horse to beat in here, right?
Amundsen is the horse to beat, but as we throw up our Timeform US pace projector, he also could be the horse to catch. Now, he didn't get to his preferred spot on the lead last time out. While Amundsen is the horse to beat, Mike, does 7 furlongs worry you a little bit with this guy? I know he's won at this distance, but I've always liked him going a little shorter.
It doesn't, the distance doesn't worry me with him, Dan. I think this is the right field for him. It's all about whether he can, make the early lead. He's not a horse who has to be on the lead. But maybe going this distance, if they use his speed out of there off the claim and he makes the front, he is a tough customer.
If the pace is hot, keep an eye on the 7 General Banker. You'll note the LP flag over his chiclet. That indicates that he has the fastest late pace rating from our friends at Timeform US. We'll kick things off with the 1, Market Alert. This is a horse with a good amount of back class. He's a former stakes winner. He's earned over $500,000 in his career. He's very unlucky in this spot. $25,000 New York bred claimer, buried in behind horses from the turn. He's just going to get out now. And when he does, he comes with a good charge to finish third with a big gallop out. And the runner-up in this race came right back to run second with a 91 buyer.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I'm going to just maybe disagree with you a little bit in this race. I didn't really think he was that unlucky in there, but maybe he was, if only because the winner of that race was also buried behind horses in the upper stretch. He got out to the clear. He made the big run and got there and actually won really easily. And this horse, just came on a little bit too late. He was unlucky, but I'm not sure how unlucky he really was.
And now he's going to be stepping back up into sort of the second level optional ranks off that quarter claimer. The Institute deserves a hike up in class. This horse has been on a roll lately. He's won his last 2 starts coming from off the pace. I like this effort at Aqueduct. First time Horatio de Paz. It's not like this pace was very fast. He's on the outside and he kicks him down very easily. Not sure what he beat though. These step ups from the first level New York bred to the second level, they can be daunting.
They can be tough. This is a horse, though. It just feels like he's finally putting it all together, Dan. He was cut out to be a nice horse as a young horse, and it didn't really work out, but he's sort of working his way back. He was way best in this race. He was also way best 2 starts back where it was sort of similar stuff. They rated him back at the start. The horse who made the lead in there was 1-5, and he had about a 4-length lead in the stretch, and this horse steamrolled him late. I think he's finally putting it all together.
He's consistent, to be sure. He's hit the board in his last 8 starts. Another horse jumping up from the first level condition is the 3, Rocket and Roll for trainer Brad Cox. This horse looked good from off the pace, going 7/8 at Aqueduct. He's in behind horses turning for home. He's going to get the seam, however, and he's going to grind these horses down in the final 1/8 of a mile. Career best buyer of 81, flattered perhaps when the third finisher returned to place with a 90.
Yeah, he's still lightly raced too, this horse. I remember liking his maiden win at Saratoga first time against New York Reds, and he runs well again here. I'm kind of concerned that he didn't beat a very good field in this spot, Dan. That worries me because he's up in class anyway, but he might be even more up in class against this kind of a field.
The number 4 Radio Red's a little bit of a nutball. He needs a blindfold before he goes into the gate, and he kind of is often fractious. His last race, though, I thought was pretty good. He got wired in a slow-pace race. He broke pretty sharp in here, and they decided to sit outside, and maybe that just wasn't the best plan for him. He ends up finishing second behind this front-running winner, ahead of 2 next-out winners.
He ran really well in here. This winner just had all the best of it and has plenty left through the stretch. And Radio Red can't catch him, but I like the way he finishes in here, Dan. He also ran really, really well. He was off about a 3-month layoff back at Saratoga when Amundsen beat him. And this horse ran really well that day. He had to do all the hard work in there, and he just got tired chasing.
Amundsen was on the pace and wired him going 7/8, 3 starts back at Saratoga. This is his 3rd start off of a short layoff. He was claimed out of his most recent start. He was the beaten favorite that day, but he didn't make the lead. And while Mike mentioned he has sat, I do believe he's at his best when he's up front. He faced a good field last time out. The winner of that race coming back to run third in an open second level allowance with a 91 buyer. His speed makes him very dangerous.
Yeah, it really does. He's just got several races that make him really, really tough in here, especially if he makes the lead, Dan. And this, N2X optional 45 New York bred, he's already won this race several times in the past, and they're just going to try it again off the claim here for really, really sharp connections.
Kalaloo has won 2 of his last 3 starts on fast going. The problem is he's caught wet going in his last 3 starts. I don't mind this horse cutting back from the mile to 7 furlongs. I think that will work for him. And perhaps it's simply just a situation. Getting back on dry footing will allow this horse to reach his full potential.
I think that's a very fair way to look at him, Dan. I mean, his top race gives him a real chance in here, and I think you can give him an excuse for the wet tracks recently. Just go back to that start, 3 back, going this distance on this track. Only an 82 buyer. He did all the hard work that day, chasing an odds-on favorite on the lead. Everybody else who was part of that pace got tired. He hung on at the end.
I'm a huge fan of the 7 General Banker. I know he's only won twice in his career. He's been placed in some very tough spots, and it just seems he always overachieves. He's earned over $500,000, and he's coming off 2 solid efforts against state-bred, stakes-sired horses. I don't know, Mike. He ran well 3 starts back with Lasix on. He seems to fit this second-level allowance condition well. I expect him to run on late at a price.
I do too. I could easily use this horse somewhere, Dan. I don't know if I'll have him on top or not. But if nothing else, I mean, he shows up and runs his typical race just about every single time. And, he's facing a good field here. He was in a way tougher field last time.
Don't Lose Cruz completes the field, and I don't think he's impossible, but he's another one of those lightly raced horses that's got a bit of upside potential. His last race was his first start off a pretty significant layoff. He was chasing from the inside, and he was digging down deep till about the last 100 yards or so, and then he just blew third money. Now he's got to deal with another layoff here, but this good outside post, coupled with his tactical speed, should have him in position when they turn for home.
Yeah, I don't love that he's got another layoff to deal with here after that last one. And listen, if nothing else, he got a really good trip last time. I get it that he didn't make the lead. He just sat in behind the winner on the lead and just couldn't really make a race of it. I'm concerned too, Dan, that he's probably not making the lead in here with Admonson to his inside.
Before we take a look at our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time, Thursday race of the day. Mike's going with the Institute. This horse is seeking his 3rd straight, and he is going to be charging in the stretch.
I respect the 4 and the 5 in this race, Dan, but I want to bet the Institute in here. I think they've finally gotten this horse good.
While Amundsen is a dangerous speed, I'm wondering if Radio Red just gets a little bit of a kinder scenario than last time. The pace might be a little faster. I think he can tuck in behind. We'll see if he can get it done this time around. 2-4-5-6 for Mike, 4-3-8-2 for me. Thursday race of the day, the 7th at the Big A. Good luck.